Well, let's see here. I might not be Morgan Freeman, but this is... Classic Gamer Reviews.
Locked in her room, high in the palace tower, the princess rests all her hopes on the brave youth she loves. Those are the words that echo through your mind throughout this whole journey. Whatever echoes through your mouth, though, well, that's another story completely. Fuck. Prince of Persia, a giant leap in the video game industry. When Prince of Persia originally came out for the Apple II in 1989, it would be thrust into a world who had never seen the likes of anything like this game before. And, well, it launched horribly. However, gaining popularity in Japan and Europe, it eventually became a commercial success. And there's a reason for that, because believe it or not, you just don't do nothing and become a commercial success. You gotta prepare and put your heart and soul into a project, and that's exactly what Prince of Persia creator Jordan did. For all intents and purposes though, the Super Nintendo version, which I'm reviewing, has the same principles of the Apple II version, just better graphics, better sound, and 8 more levels for you to die in. Because trust me, you're gonna be dying a lot. You start off the game as a poorly dressed man who is thrown into a dungeon by Jafar. It's kinda like Aladdin. Well, at least there's no floating blue genie. So this man, Jafar, I guess has you put in the only dungeon with an escape route clearly visible from every angle of the room, both inside and out, and it's your job to get the princess within the allotted time, which is 2 hours. And that allotted time of 2 hours isn't a joke. You do only have 2 hours to beat this game. You are against the clock, and it's not just a dumb plot device, it's a plot device that is actually implemented into the gameplay itself. And speaking about the gameplay, from the moment you push your first button in this game, something becomes apparent right away. This game controls incredibly. You see, the creator of this game modeled the movement of his brother to create the prince's movement. He then rotoscoped it and put it into animations. So you move as a real person would. You feel momentum, you gain momentum, and because of this, you're more immersed into the game. Jumps require a run and start, and you even need to compensate for stopping. And it just makes the game feel so good. There's a purposeful delay in movement because in real life, you don't go from standing still to running instantly. You have to build up that speed. When one plays a game today, sure, games include character customization, but it doesn't feel like you're actually there. You can be immersed in a game like Mass Effect, but realistically, would you be fighting an alien race and single-handedly saving the galaxy? Realistically, no. No. It's not enough to just look the part. But Prince of Persia makes you feel as if you're the hero. You're jumping over traps. You're the one killing guards who are just doing their job. But instead of some insanely skilled guy doing it, you feel as if you are because your movement was modeled after a real human being. You approach new puzzles with caution because you know that you're not some superhero, you're a real human being and you can die very easily. It's not like Call of Duty where if you just stand still, you regain health. In this game, if you just stand still, well, you're slowly losing because of the time. That being said, day-to-day people make a lot of mistakes. We trip, we fall, we ask people out that we shouldn't, and well, this game's gonna bring that out. So you can't go too fast in this game or you'll make dumb mistakes, but you also can't go too slow. This creates an uneasy tension that only improves the game's atmosphere. Within the first level, the game makes it very clear that it doesn't want to be rushed, within reason. You still got the counter going down. Albeit a bit unfair, you must walk behind the foreground and descend at this point in the first level. From first glance, one would not see this and simply jump down the ravine. Well, you can't do that because, well, you'll die. Instead, it's the game's way of giving you a sign of things foretold that reads, keep calm and assess the fucking situation, but I'll get into that later. So you get a sword, backtrack, and then climb back up the ravine. And then you get introduced to the fighting in this game, and the fighting is pretty immersive. It remaps all the controls except movement because universally that's important. You can block and attack, and it takes a while to become familiar with the fighting because once again, it's realistic. No flipping and jumping for either person, except for this monster and this woman, but let's be honest. or women even, people. Calm the fuck down, I'm kidding. When you beat a level, it tells you how much time you wasted being a dumbass and a password for the next level, so you don't have to beat the game in one sitting. Like other games. So pretty good stuff, Jordan, Konami, good job, high five, A++. And then you're on to the next level, and each one has a nice progressive difficulty. So once again, good job, Jordan and Konami, extra credit, A++, and all that stuff. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you I didn't beat this game in 2 hours. It took me much longer, and I averaged around 20 minutes per level. I know, pretty shitty, right? But remember when I said keep calm and assess the fucking situation? Well, that's what's needed in this game. You will begin each level dying for the most part and getting farther each time, like here on level 10 for example. No joke, this is how the level starts out. Oh, okay, I guess I get fucking dropped into the lava. But that's okay, I'll hang on to the ledge. Now just to move to the left. Oh, okay, a fucking pit. But die enough times and you'll eventually be like, fuck this cliff, fuck that hole, and yeah! An area that normally took you 10 minutes to get to can now be reached in less than 30 seconds, and you look like and feel like a badass dodging all these traps. And don't think this shit doesn't pertain to you, because chances are it does. If you've played any recent 3D Prince of Persia, you're given more freedom in how you traverse the area. You might not always approach something from the same angle, but given a 2D perspective and you force the player into a somewhat linear path. They are approaching from either the left or the right, and the traps, therefore, are built and positioned in these places that one would naturally go to, and in many cases, has no choice to go to. Like in level 18, after doing these crazy jumps, you are forced to stop and not move an inch after you land here, but instinct tells you to get far away from the edge and the cliff. But if you listen to instinct, you die and have to do it all over again. Yay! As you progress farther and farther, you're introduced to new traps, some that stay and some that don't. The guards stay but get different colors and more health, but eventually they become less and less of a threat. Except here, where the enemy is glitched and standing on the switch that shuts the door, and now I can't reach him, so unless if I want to get sliced in half, it's game over, I guess. Together forever. But the game doesn't get stale. You visit different environments accompanied by new music, and there's even boss fights. The levels with bosses in them are usually a bit more forgiving, allowing you to start up in the room before the fight, so you don't have to play the level again and again and again, because frankly, it can get annoying having to replay a level because of a mistake that was accidentally made. But for the most part, most levels don't feature a boss and require you to start all the way from the beginning of the level, not regaining any time that was spent. But hey, let's look at the positives. It's not the end of the world. Well, maybe for the princess. She has to marry Jafar if you fuck up. But at least you get to re-see the pretty environments. The colors may not be as vibrant and aggressive as other Super Nintendo games like Legend of Zelda, but it works. The backdrops can be, well, as jaw-dropping as a Super Nintendo can be, and the art style really just clicks. It feels like it should be there. But that's not the only new thing you're going to be finding later on. The game also features potions, which can increase your overall health, or do some other non-desirable side effects, like turn the screen upside down and instantly kill you. Some of this stuff is introduced in the way later levels, and I wasn't joking when I said the game is constantly keeping things fresh. You run into Jafar a couple of times before the end boss fight, which is pretty neat. He apparently even grows a brain and locks you in a room with no way out. Well, I guess it's a game over then. Oh wait, a little mouse. Okay. Another new thing, I guess. Told ya! The game also has some moments where a leap of faith is necessary. These parts of the game I wasn't a fan of, but they were few and far between, and they are not near enough of a problem to not recommend this game a playthrough. The game ends with a satisfying fight against Jafar, though sometimes he can be cheap, but nonetheless it's a fun last boss fight and a fantastic game. At the end of the 2 hours, you feel like you personally have saved the day, got the girl, and became the Prince of Persia. Special shout out to Zack King for letting us borrow this game. Thanks, dude. You rock. Yeah, it only took me 22 hours to make this video, so, you know, the least you can do is comment, give us a rating, subscribe. like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. It'd mean a lot.
Well, let's see here. I may not be Morgan Freeman, but this is Classic Gamer Reviews.
So pretty good stuff, Jordan, Konami. Good job. High five, A++.